Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Bristol Flyers Podcast. My name's Joel Osborne. His name is Sam Hardy. We are very proudly sponsored by WebGains. And first of all, we've got to start off with a bit of an apology.
You do?
Because we didn't do an episode last week.
I was ready, all ready to go, and Joel has the excuse that we had 3 games in a week or something rubbish like that, and was like, oh, I'm too busy.
We did. It was 3 games in 6 days.
That sounds like a you problem, mate, all right?
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, it was tough. Like, it was a busy week. We've missed the podcast 2 weeks this season, and both weeks we've had 3 games in 6 days. So it has been a very, very hectic schedule.
I will let you off. To be fair, you guys travel all around the world now. Well, North Europe, but
well, I travel from here to the office. Basically, I don't do the trips to Europe. We do it from here.
Oh yeah, because you do it all from in here. So Jack gets to go around the world, and you end up flipping just walking.
There we go.
Across the stadium, basically.
Yeah, it's a long walk.
It's a long walk.
We got producer Dan over there pushing the buttons. Dan, how's it going?
Very well, thank you, gentlemen. It's been a while. I've been waiting for you. I've been sat here waiting for you for 2 weeks.
Is this where you live? You basically live in here.
He's got a bed under the desk. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've been waiting ages.
Dan, you were on directing duty for our game against BC Utenos Juventus, weren't you?
I was indeed. What a game. There was a moment where I thought it was really kicking off on the game. I thought I was under fire, right? Genuinely. Heard rattling in the rafters above me. It was Sam throwing sweets, wasn't it? Almost hit me in the head with a bag of Haribo.
Is that true? I didn't realise that.
True. I thought I was under fire.
Amazing. Getting pelters underneath the bleachers. He's normally hidden underneath the bleachers as well. You can't really see him, but Sam's found a way.
Well, we keep the ugly ones hidden away, don't we, Joel? That's the thing. That's why he's off screen. I'm sorry, Dan.
It's true, though. It is true.
That's it. Dan, we also got to ask you, what happened to this guide to the Juventus we were promised?
Right. How long have you got?
We have got
here we go.
An hour. Go.
No, it just it had been written. We had a lovely guide to everything, to do with Lithuania, and then it just didn't get made, did it?
That's a politically correct way of saying Freddie.
I tell you what. I actually listened to the voiceover that Dan put together for that, and it was actually really, really good. So it's a shame we didn't get to use it, but it just means you have to do, have to be double excited, double buzzing to do the next one, which is Start Lublin.
It is, and I tell you what, a teaser, I've written it already and voiced it. So there's a special coming all about Poland and Lublin. Very soon.
Is it Lublin?
Lublin?
Lublin.
Well, I hope I said Lublin.
You better get it right,
Start
mate.
Lublin, I'm going with.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to Maciej Stank from Fever Pitch, because obviously he's Polish. I'm going to get him to do all the pronunciations for us ahead of that game. So yeah.
Actually, big shout out for Aistis Keliauskas, who gave us a huge heads up for. Also, Cam in our office gave me a bit of help, who's from Lithuania as well, and were helping us with the pronunciations of all of the players for last week.
Oh yeah, there were some toughies. It wasn't as tough as, I don't think it was as tough as the Bulgarian game, but there were some toughies in there.
Yeah, it was good though. It's fun.
It was really good. Before we get to our guest for this week, I had a chance, Sam, to look through some of the previous episode comments. And I know we always say, leave a comment in the comment section below. We'll read them out on air. We never read them out on air. So I'm going to read them out on air right now, real quickly, before we introduce the guest.
Okay, what you got for me, Joel?
First one, Paul Bazant left a comment on our last episode with Brad Green, which says, another great show, but who gets the editorial on my question? And I know why they've asked that question. It's because they want us to say the B, and the L in the former abbreviation of the league to do a forfeit. So that is why, Paul, sorry.
So it's Joel. Joel gets the editorial on the question.
Yeah, I get the editorial because I'm not doing a forfeit. We don't well enough to do a forfeit for a while now.
Yeah, we've. I think it's going to be ingrained, which makes that sort of bucket a little bit.
Well, we'll find out. You never know. It's still there if you need it. Where is it, damn it? It's over there somewhere. I think it's over there somewhere. Had another comment come through on a recent episode with Trejon Lucas from his cousin, which says, "Hey cousin, it's been amazing watching you in this stage of your career. Great job on the interview. Your mum, sister and grandmother keep us up to date with On Your Moves, so I can relate to most of what you discussed here. We're rooting for you. Continue to be blessed."
That's so nice, isn't it?
Amazing. Good to see we're going overseas with the podcast as well. Last comment to read out here. This one was from our episode with Flyers CEO Lisa Knights, from Phil Whitlock, from our partners at the Sport Clinic. Shout out, Phil. Which says, Joel's got a bit of Howard Cosell about him when he did the news in his American accent. More, please. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, you sounded I'm going to be kind here. Atrocious.
I heard a lot of people say I sound like Rob Paternoster from the Leicester Riders. You heard that one?
I'm not saying Rob sounds atrocious, by the way. That's not what I'm saying.
Rob, if you're watching, hi. How you doing?
I love actually Rob does his comms for some of the games down in Ealing. He does what you do for, some of the...
Yeah, he does. He's amazing.
He
so
is
good. He's done a couple
one
of
of my favourite. He's so funny. And what is this something he did in one of ours? The quote he made?
Oh, yeah. It's the sound effects he always does. Watch Rob Paternoster on commentary. It's the whoosh, what? And watch this. Whoosh. And the best one was the Trejon Lucas assist to Brad Green. It's like, oh, we love the round the back pass. Whoop, round the back, right to Green. I was like, yes. Amazing.
I love that.
That is an amazing comment. So shout out, Rob, if you're watching. We love you on commentary. And look forward to seeing you later in the season when we play the Leicester Riders. Right, shall we introduce the guest? Because we've gone on for a little while here.
Chat a bit of rubbish now.
We have gone a little while here. But time for us to introduce this week's guest. And fresh off a 27-point performance against the Caledonia Gladiators, we are very pleased to be joined by Bristol Flyers guard Trejon Jacob. How's it going?
It was good.
Trejon,
how are we doing, TJ?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to be here with you guys, man.
Well, we're blessed to have you with us. Last time you were on the podcast was when you had just signed with the club, or just re-signed with the club, I should say.
Yeah.
We had you on the Zoom, didn't we?
Yeah. I didn't look presentable.
What do you mean you didn't look presentable?
A couple of things I wish I could change, but we're here now. Sorry.
We've got you here in person instead. How about that? And before we actually get into the episode, TJ, we obviously have to reference that last episode where we had you on. And at the end of the episode, you suggested an idea for us the next time we had you here in the studio. Sam, should we take a listen to this?
I'm coming soon. I'm coming there with fish and chips in hand. Don't worry about that. I'm eating it right next to y'all. Don't worry about that one.
Love it. We're bringing we're bringing the chips to the studio. I love to hear it.
He said he's going to sit right next to us. I'm expecting him to bring it for us, Joel. That's what I want, all right?
You buying, yeah?
Oh yeah. It's on me for the first one. It's on me.
I love to see it. And I can confirm, TJ, that you've come empty-handed to the studio today. What's going on?
What is your excuse?
To be fair, I blame Rich.
Oh,
I
really?
blame Rich. We had a good weight session earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Okay, well, I tell you what, we should probably see if we can get... should we see if we can get some, fish and chips into the studio today, or should we... What are you thinking?
Should we try and Uber Eats them and get them here in time for the end of the episode?
Has anyone got Uber Eats on their phone? Have you got Uber Eats on your phone, TJ?
I don't. Do you have it?
I got Deliveroo.
You got Deliveroo?
You
could try. You could do a Deliveroo. Do a Deliveroo. Yeah. I think Ash over there, our intern Ash over there has Uber Eats on your phone.
We've got our intern Ash in the house. He's just joined us probably a month or a bit ago. He's on the commercial team, one absolute legend. He's coming down to watch the podcast. And what would make him more of a legend is if he orders some fish and chips that arrive by the end of the episode. Otherwise, you don't pass your probation, mate. So you better get this sorted, all right?
Get them delivered. We'll get a small. What do you want, TJ? Small fish, small chips, or do you want try battered sausage?
The thing is, you've got to be careful. You had that before?
Nah, I don't know if I want to go with that one, to be honest.
It's banging. It's amazing.
I'm just go with the small. I'm gonna go with
small fish and chips.
Small fish and chips.
Banging. There's a bit of a pun there, John. Nice.
Oh, bangers. Hey, funny one, that. Sausage-based jokes.
Sausage-based jokes.
TJ, you ever had mushy peas?
Mushy peas? Nah, man.
Okay,
mushy peas.
Ash, mushy peas as well, please.
Okay, so we're getting one small cod and chips, please. One mushy peas, please. Right, so Ash, are we good to go? Are we ordering fish and chips now to the media entrance at Ashton Gate Stadium? How are we looking? He's digging deep in the phone over there. I'll leave him to it and see if it does come through by the end of the episode. That would be incredible.
If it says it's going to arrive within the next 45, great. If it's like an hour and a half, maybe we'll leave it, okay?
What's he saying?
Yeah.
15 to 30 minutes. Here we go.
Get it in.
Race against the clock. Will the fish and chips arrive in time before the end of the episode? We will see. I don't know why this podcast always turns into food-related stuff, does it? It's like we should probably call this episode the Bristol Fryers Podcast.
Oh, gosh.
What do you reckon? Like it?
No.
I think it's going to stick.
Dan, edit that bit out. No, I'm joking.
We'll see. Fish and chips are on the way. And Trejon, let's dig into the episode. Reason why we got you here. Talk to us. How are you enjoying your time back in Bristol so far?
I love it, actually, man. It felt like my home away from home. Second home, in a sense, if you want to call it. Just from being here the first year and being able to re-experience those things and have the connection with the fans and the team and coach especially. it means a lot.
I imagine you're finding it quite easy to adjust back into life in Bristol because, like you say, you've already had that season with Coach Kapoulas, so you kind of know the system, you know what to expect, you know what to expect in the oppositions, you know what to expect out of the arenas, all that kind of stuff. I imagine it's been quite straightforward for you. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like familiar, unfamiliar territory because obviously the whole team has changed and people change around the league and, you know, behind the scenes or whatever you want to say. But as far as the fans and stuff, like it feels amazing just to see everybody and dap the kids up and show love to everybody and get energy from the fans. Yeah.
And have you had a chance to re-explore some of the hot spots in the city, or what are some of your favourite spots to go around in Bristol right now?
I got a couple coffee shops I like to go to. You know, I can't say too much, can't expose my secrets. But
otherwise everyone will be going down there trying to
fans will be finding you.
Trying to meet TJ.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the bridge, like it's nice views, it's calm, chill, you know.
Yeah, nice. Well, we don't often have players returning to the club after spending, you know, sort of a season away, or, you know, we don't really, do we, Sam? Like, have players come back for a second spell?
Just Malk, but he never really was there that much the first time around, was he?
Yeah. It was like half a season, and then he went back to Germany. But like, we never really had a player sort of have a full season with us and then want to come back into the program. And I know we touched on this very briefly the last time you were on the podcast, but just kind of talk us through what was it about the opportunity in Bristol that really excited you to want to come back for another year?
Well, I mean, so I was in Scotland actually. I saw the game, and I was like, dang, I would love to be a part of this again. You know, just the energy from everybody, even the away games is like, it's crazy. The venues is crazy. So I was just like, man, what better would it be for my third year? You know, second if you want to count, you know, technicality. But to come back and just experience everything again and just live life without having to readjust to a place. And, you know, I know the coach knows me, know the system, know the guys, know the fan base especially. So, you know, that was more my main factor.
Yeah, because you were playing in Finland, weren't you? You were doing a season, and you picked up an injury, and then what was it that led you back to Scotland? For example, you just out there in Scotland.
Yeah, so I was actually visiting. I was visiting. You call it vacation, depending on how you want to see it. But, but yeah, and then I just happened to see the schedule, and I just happened to look at y'all were in Glasgow. So I was like, oh, I might as well. I'm right here, an hour away. So, you know, I might as well go ahead and take a trip.
Amazing.
So and did you make the call to coach, or did coach come back crawl into you?
I plead the fifth.
We ain't in America here, boy.
I plead the fifth.
But no, it's good. I quite like hearing these stories about like how players come back to the team, because we, like you say, we've never really had that before. Not that I can remember too much of over the years.
Well, obviously Raf's come back this year, but I think with an pure American player, because even the Del Pesces have got English passports, don't they? You are American passport. Like that's not normal for that to happen, and so it's, you don't understand. I know I said it on the pod before, but when I heard you were coming back, I was thrilled. I was honestly so excited, and it's working, man. Look at you.
I'm happy to be here again. Like it's feel like I got life again. You know, after that year I had after the unfortunate injury. You know, I only played 3 games, so you know it was just like I was down for about 9 months. So you know, coming back here is just like, man, I'm re-energized. I can get back to my old self and actually be better than I was the last time.
Yeah, we haven't missed a beat since you've come back to the club. I mean, we've hit the ground running. We're right now, time recording, second in the league, 8-4 in the league standings. What's been the secret?
I think it's just us being cohesive. To be honest, I think we all know what we want to achieve, and we all know these past 2 years the club has been on an upward trajectory, and we don't want to be the team that's falling behind, if you want to say, and we want to keep being a part of history and keep making something and making this club better.
Yeah, and I guess like, have you almost had to readjust to the style of the British Basketball League? Because I imagine when you moved away from the league and then played in Finland, it's a different sort of style of players. Usually, a lot of players will say it's a lot more physical, a lot more quicker in the UK, and everything sort of in Europe is a bit more slowed down.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Finland, I would say the biggest thing was the physicality aspect. You know, I would go in the lane and look for a foul, and I get put on my back, and I'm just like, yeah, this ain't England at all. So it was a bit of a transition at first, but over time, you know, it became easier. But as far as here, like, I mean, my play style myself, I like transition, as you can see from the last game. So I mean, it fits me. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
Was it really cold in Finland?
Absolutely. I don't even want to talk about it, man.
I mean, it's pretty cold over here, right? But like, it can be. I imagine even over there, even colder, right?
That was insane. Yeah. So I remember it was a preseason tournament we had, and it was after a game, and our recovery, they were like, "Well, you're gonna get in the hot tub, and then go jump in the lake." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what you just say to me?" And the coach was like, "Yeah, like hot tub, steam room, jump in the lake, swim around a little bit, and then do it 3 times, and then we'll get out and do what we got to do." And I was like, "Yeah, y'all are nuts."
And that essentially is your ice bath, just jumping in the lake.
Did you get to see the Northern Lights while you were there or not?
I didn't. I plan on making a trip because it's northern Finland, so I plan on making a trip during our international break. But
well, talking of Europe and European basketball, you of course are part of the team here in Bristol. That's the very first Flyers team to be playing in Europe. What does that mean to you as a player to sort of be making writing another chapter in Bristol Flyers history by being part of that first team in Europe?
Yeah, I mean it means a lot to me, especially as players. You know, you want to showcase your talents at the highest place possible. And when Coach called me and told me, he was like, you know, we were thinking about playing in the ENBL. I was like, oh, that's crazy. So I did my research, and he told me a little bit about it. And I was like, it'd be amazing to have the opportunity, not for only me, but for the club as a whole. You know, he's been talking about this for a while, and just to be able to be a part of it, you know, it feels amazing.
Yeah. And are you noticing that difference? And I know you sort of had that first spell with Bristol and you come back for that second spell with the Flyers. Are you noticing the difference between the two spells? Because, of course, I mean, I'll be able to tell you, like, this is my 10th season with the Flyers, and obviously Flyers, they started back in the lower divisions in Div 3. Like, they're working their way up through the table, you know, entering the British Basketball League 2014, and back then we were just a team of fighting for the playoffs. And then obviously in your first season with the league, it's the highest ever league finish at the time, 4th, the best ever win percentage, and then even last season was the highest ever finish, where they finished 3rd. And now for this season to be playing in Europe, and then to have like the ambitions for the new arena right here at Ashton Gate as well on the horizon, like what's it like for you, sort of knowing that you're part of that journey and being part of a program that's actively wanting to like push their way forward?
I mean, it's more of like you always want to be a trendsetter. You know, I feel like on the first team we were like, oh, we saw what the team before us did, and we're like, well, we don't want to be that team. We want to be better than that team. And then to come in and see the team after me, I was a little salty. I ain't gonna lie, but I was like, yeah, you know, those guys, they came in, they did their thing. So I'm like, you know, if I go back, I want to make it even better than the time I was here and the year before that. And it's just me being competitive, and then even, you know, with again, like I said, with the trajectory of the club, and then playing in Europe and stuff like that, I was like, it's a no-brainer for me to come back. I didn't even want to look anywhere else, you know, after I heard that.
How did you find the first European game? Did you enjoy it?
I did, yeah. It was a different atmosphere for sure, you know, because in Finland, the venues were a bit bigger, you know, so it wasn't as intimate, if you want to call it that. And then as far as them yelling, obviously we don't understand what they're saying. So, like, it could be saying anything, and we're just like, we're looking around like, oh, man.
Do they like us? Do they not?
Yeah,
we don't know.
I don't know what they're saying. I don't know what's going on. But then, like, just being able to play and just feel the atmosphere and feel the energy in the arena was just amazing. And, you know, to come out of that with the dub was even better.
Yeah. And you mentioned the team in your first spell with the Flyers. I mean, the chemistry was really strong in that team. They finished 4th at the time. Yeah. Some great guys on the group this year as well. And we had Brad on the podcast last week, and he mentioned some of the fun conversations you guys are having in the weight room. One of them was, I think it was like, who's better between Batman and Spider-Man or something like that. Which team are you on?
Spider-Man, no
Team
doubt.
Spidey,
no doubt.
Spidey's putting their hands to Batman.
I have to agree on that one,
Putting
to
their
be
hands
honest.
with him. If we're going no suit, no nothing, just hands.
Yeah.
Batman's done.
Why are you thinking about them in no suit?
Pause.
The Flyers are literally flying right now, so it's great to see you guys are all on the same page and doing it without key players in the squad right now as well, like RGB and Keely Johnson as well. It just shows like how together you guys are and still picking up wins with the key guys out. So it's great to see. TJ, one of the things we like to do with our guests is we like to run it back. And for us, we want to learn more about your background and sort of how you first got into playing basketball. And you grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, didn't you?
Well, it's kind of a sticky one. You know, if you want to technically call it, yes, I did graduate high school from Raleigh, but I spent most of my years in Houston. We moved there when I was young. I had all my teenage years, and I moved to Raleigh when I was 16.
Okay, and you went to Millbrook High School,
Yes.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to give a shout out to them, by the way, because on X, formerly known as Twitter, they're always engaging with all your posts. Like whenever we're posting about like, oh, TJ named in Team of the Week, they're straight away retweeting it. So they're definitely sharing the love right now as well. So shout out to them.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Evan. He's usually on top of his stuff. Even when I was in high school, he's always had fire content, and even from the jerseys down to behind the scenes, he's always working. So shout out Evan and Millbrook, man.
Yeah. Can you remember how old you were when you actually first started playing? Like, how did you first get into playing basketball?
I've always had a ball in my hand ever since I was a toddler. You know, I think I didn't look anywhere else. I didn't want to play anything else. So it's a picture somewhere out there. I'm sure my family can find it. But I'm on a little Tykes goal, and I'm shooting, but you can't really tell which hand I'm using. You know, so I think from there is when I fell in love with it. So
Amazing.
probably about 4 or 5 years old is when I started like actually getting into it.
We were talking about this before we started recording. Now, I didn't know this, and I had no idea, but TJ was telling me that he's actually right-handed, but plays every sport left-handed. So isn't that crazy for the guys he's going up against? They're like, oh, he's beating me with his weak hand.
What is that? Why is that, do you feel? Have you always just felt better shooting a ball with your left hand?
Yeah, so I actually blame my older brother. We used to have a competition, a little shooting competition when we were younger, and everybody else in my family is right-handed. And I was like, well, I want to be different. So I started shooting my left one day, and it just stuck with me. But then I was like, well, it feels uncomfortable outside of that. So everything else, right hand, eating food, writing in school, always right-handed.
That's amazing. So you're literally ambidextrous. That's amazing.
For me, it's baffling. Especially, I know we're going to get onto last week's on Sunday's game in a second, but him running down and hitting as many threes he did with his wrong hand, I just find it hilarious.
It's bonkers, isn't it? It's amazing. And you mentioned your family there. You always been a basketball family because you got a brother and a sister, haven't you?
Yeah, so I mean, they were always dual sport athletes. My brother played football and basketball. My sister played volleyball and basketball. And then they came to me and they were like, "Oh, you know, what do you do?" I'm like, "I'm just a hooper. I get bucks for a living." You know, so
he does get buckets.
He does get buckets.
Guarantee. And then obviously you attended Millbrook, and then after Millbrook, you took the JUCO route into college, where you played at Florida International, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was in JUCO in Seminole State in Oklahoma for a year, and then I went from there and went to FIU in Miami.
Yeah,
I spent 3 years in Miami.
Yeah, and how do you look back on that whole experience there at FIU? Because that's a very nice place to live.
Yeah, it's outside. Yeah, I couldn't really travel too much because I was on the younger side when I graduated. I graduated at 21, so you know it was just more like I can't really do anything. I can't really be a part of Miami because again I'm too young. But as far as like Miami as a whole, it was, and FIU as a whole, it was very family oriented. We had a coaching change my sophomore year, going into my junior year, and then those guys came in. Shout out Coach Ballard, and he came in. He took me in, and he was just like, "Look, we want you to do this certain role," and he let me flourish in those roles, and that's a part of the reason why like my transition style is the way it is, because we were always 94 feet. We had the fastest tempo in the nation. You know, my senior year, I was top 10 in steals per game. So it was just...
That doesn't surprise me though, man.
It's just...
Sounds like Trejon Jacob basketball right there.
Yeah,
high risk, high reward, pushing transition, pull up threes.
Absolutely.
That literally is perfect.
Literally, you can't. That 1-3 you had in this game where you literally stole it from the wing, went up, pulled up, and I was watching it. Do you know the first thing I do when you pull up on transition? I look at coach, see what his reaction is. To be fair, he kind of just like, well, that's TJ. That's what he's going to do.
I think after the first year, he kind of just got in his head, like, if I'm open in transition, it's going up. And he's giving me the green light. And, you know, he's just like, don't hesitate either. If you feel like you're open, shoot it. And everybody else on the team knows, like, it's good.
Yeah.
I just don't get why the defenders don't come to you. Like 3 times it happened. One of them annoyingly just rimmed in and back out again. But all 3 times you didn't even really have anyone in your face, did you? I was like, what are they doing?
I think it's got to be on a scouting report now, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but then what you'll do is you'll fake it and then you'll blow past them as well, won't you? So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's tough to guard. TJ, I was doing my research ahead of the pod, and am I right in thinking you majored in sports management at FIU?
I did, yeah.
And am I right in thinking you wanted to become a sports agent?
I did, yeah. So I'm torn between becoming a sports agent and actually owning my own facility one day and actually training kids and doing a bunch of stuff out of that facility.
Oh, amazing.
Why not both?
You know, I have thought about it. I'm torn because it's like I want to be and work with kids and get kids better, you know, because, again, I had that when I was younger. But, again, the generations, they're keep improving. So for me to be, you know, a part of it and have the resume and the things that I do, you know, I feel like it's easy. It's easy to flow into.
Yeah. And what was it in particular about like the sports agency side of things? Because I think a few years ago we did a podcast all about agents and stuff, and it's really interesting, like that whole side of things. Because I mean, you've probably experienced it from a player's perspective, but then I imagine you could take that experience as a player and then sort of be like, okay, now this is how I want to be as an agent because I know what it's like on the other side. You see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also my main point for becoming an agent or wanting to become an agent. It's like I've seen everything from the player side, but behind the scenes and the opposite side of the ball, you know, the front office part of the business is just like, well, I want to see something else, but I'm still attached to the sport as well.
Yeah.
Know?
And obviously when you graduated out of FIU, you would have had to find an agent. Like, just talk us through that whole process. Like, how does one even go? Does your college help you find an agency or an agent, or are you left on your own to find someone, or how does that all work?
So actually, my head coach and the assistant coaches, they actually, my first agency, he was his teammate in college. So he was like, he came to the games, he seen me, and then right after COVID hit, I signed with them. Some things didn't work out, ended up leaving that agency, and with the agency I'm at now. And they reached out to me the first time. Obviously, I didn't pick them, and then I reached out the second time, and now here we are.
Yeah.
Shout out Drew.
Yeah, I imagine it's like the whole school recruitment process all over again, isn't it?
It's just like, well, who wants me, and what can you do for me, not me do for you? So
yeah.
But then again, it's like, you know, I had to take a step back and realize, like, you know, I actually take a deeper dive into the agents and see what their agency's about.
Yeah. What sort of things do you look for when you're like looking at like an agent, for example? Like if you're looking like, you know, you must get so many offers of people wanting to represent you for teams, and like, are you looking at like where have their clients gone, their current clients gone? Are you looking at the things they're saying to you? What is it that helped you decide?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to actually know some people that actually had the same agents, and I asked them, you know, like, how does he work? You know, is he hard working? What does he do? Is he up late hours into the night? You know, and just how, not more importantly, how he places his players, but like, is it just teams that'll get you the most money, or is it like, did you take less money for a better opportunity? You know, so and I base it all off that, you know, and seeing, well, because I know I can take care of things on the basketball side, but like, I gotta have somebody that's gonna have my back at all times, and I can call up, you know, 4 a.m. over here, and he answer and be like, all right, let's figure out what's going on.
Yeah, amazing. And now you're here with the Flyers, and you're thriving with Bristol. So it's obviously they've done a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just had a little look over in the corner over there, Sam, and it looks like our fish and chips have arrived.
Hey now,
right here in the studio.
Hey now,
come on in, Ash. Bring them in.
2023 people, you can order food right to your podcast.
Here is intern Ash. Say hello, Ash, to the cameras.
Shout out Ash.
Shout out Ash.
What
Here we
a
are.
legend.
Would you like to do the honours and open up the lovely treats we have here? I can't believe you hadn't had a battered sausage before, Trejon. Cool. So Trejon Jacob has himself some mushy peas. Trejon, what do you think of that?
It looked like baby food.
It looks like baby food. I mean, it does look like baby food. Producer Dan, go on.
I mean, I think mushy peas are great, Trejon. Just give it a try first. It might look like baby food, but it tastes nice.
Why don't you dip one of them chips in there?
Take a little chip and dip it
I
in.
won't knock it till I try it, but it ain't looking too good, man.
Here he goes. This is the content everyone's been waiting for. Trejon Jacob is finally trying some mushy peas. He's dipped his chip into it. TJ, what do you think?
It's not bad.
It's not bad, eh?
Not bad.
The fish and chips finally arrived.
That's so weird. The thing is, we've got it arriving now, but it'd be weird to just sit in silence and eat fish and chips, wouldn't it?
I can't believe it actually worked. We just ordered Deliveroo to the studio.
You're not going to make intern pay for it, by the way. You better pay him back, Joel.
I got you, Ash. Don't you worry.
I got y'all, man. That's on me.
First one.
Well, we lived up to the promise. There is the fish and chips. Only here on the Bristol Flyers podcast.
That's actually good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we get to our quickfire questions segment, Sam?
Let's do it.
Trejon, as with all of our guests when they come on the Bristol Flyers podcast, we ask them a series of quick-fire questions. You'll have 30 seconds on the clock to answer as many questions as you can. Producer Dan is fumbling around trying to find the lights because he cannot find them. Has he found them? Oh, he's found them. But there we go.
Oh, boy.
Good timing, team. Good timing. Trejon, don't get nervous, mate. You can have 30 seconds to answer as many questions as you possibly can. Sam, are you ready?
Ready when you are, my man.
Your 30 seconds on the clock starts from now. What is your favourite day of the week?
Fridays.
What would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Oh, the animals.
What's the last song you listened to?
Ooh. Warm Embrace by Chris Brown.
Who is the basketball GOAT?
LeBron.
What noise does a dog make? Double points if you do it.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Ooh, Janae Aiko.
How many cups of coffee do you drink in a day?
1 or 2. It just depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a little crazy.
There we go.
The woof took a little bit, but the second you went, who's your celebrity crush? Like, straight in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who was it?
Her name's Janae Aiko. She's a singer.
Oh, okay.
Look it up. Flyer.
Give it a little Google. Producer Dan, you can get the lights back on, please. Thank you very much.
And I didn't count, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double points and 7.
Oh, did I miss one? 7?
Yeah, 7. Nice one, bro.
7. The score to beat was 11. Is that right, Producer Dan?
sorry,
That
mate.
is the score to beat, yeah.
Yeah, Producer Dan, so 11. You didn't quite get the dizzy heights of 11.
No,
but
but he got 7 to match the amount of 3-pointers he made in the game
There you
on
go.
Sunday.
Hey! Perfect.
You know me.
Great stuff. Right, it's time for us to get to the news.
You're listening to the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Hey Flyers fans, we want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors WebGains, who help make this podcast possible. WebGains is an affiliate marketing network who bring businesses and affiliates together to grow and succeed.
The Bristol Flyers are all about teamwork, and that's exactly what WebGains are about too. They're like the assist that helps your business score big.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur or have a business of your own that sells products online? If so, WebGains is here to help. They connect businesses with top affiliates, from cashback giants like Top Cashback to niche bloggers in your vertical, who can promote your products and services, reaching a wider audience and driving more revenue.
And here's the slam dunk, Flyers fans. WebGains provides you with detailed reports and analytics to track the performance of your affiliate marketing campaigns, making it easy to see results of your hard work and investments.
Whether you're a local business or an international brand, WebGains has the expertise and network to take your marketing efforts to the next level. They're passionate about helping businesses grow, just like we're passionate about our team's success, Sam.
So if you're ready to skyrocket your online presence and drive more sales, visit webgains.com and see how they can assist you in scoring big in the world of affiliate marketing.
That's webgains.com, webgains.com. Give your business the assist it needs with WebGains Affiliate Network.
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, here's a look at what's been going on around the British Basketball League this week, and we have to start by talking about the 3 games last week. Busy week, Sam.
Oh my goodness. What are we starting with? Which game?
Well, let's start at the start, shall we? BC Juventus taking on Bristol Flyers in the European North Basketball League on Halloween night.
How political are we allowed to get in this conversation?
Let's break it down. Let's talk about it.
Oh my goodness me. I mean, first of all, what a game. I think we were coming into it, we had a few injuries. We were to be honest, on paper they look amazing, right? They play in the top Lithuanian league. Where are they in the league? Do you know?
They're 4th. At the time of at the time of the game, they were 4th in the league. There are 2 teams above them. One of them is Zalgiris, they play in the Euro League. One of them is Ritus, that play in the Basketball Champions League. So these are and they're 4th, and they play in the EMBL. Their only 2 losses had come to those teams, that Zalgiris and Ritus.
That was what they looked like on paper, but you guys, you played out of your skin, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we came in, we obviously seen what they look like. We seen film, we watched, everything we needed to, and we play with a lot of heart, so that was one of the big things. We play, if we can make teams play our style of basketball, that's hard to beat. But unfortunately, we came out.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, Flyers, they fell short, 75 points to 76. Neither team led by more than 6, and the game came down to the last handful of possessions. And there's one here I want to talk about because It's a big talking point in the game. Flyers trailing by 2. Get it up, producer Dan. Let's have a look at it. Flyers trailing by 2. The shot clock's turned off. Flyers actually get a steal instead of fouling. And then there's this ruckus under the basket. And this could have been called a number of different calls. It could have been called a foul. It could have been called a jump ball. And in the end, it wasn't called anything. And then the foul that was called was the one by UTJ after they got the possession. Let's discuss, shall we?
Looking at it back, I'd say the most likely thing it is a jump ball. And we then would have had possession.
I think the arrow was pointing towards us at the time, right?
Yeah, and it could have been a foul, you're right. But looking at that, the amount of time they're both holding onto that ball, what do you reckon?
Let's see it again, Dan. What do you reckon, TJ? Like, this is like, I mean...
There, 2, 3, 4... Like,
yeah.
How long... do you know what I mean?
I mean, just from the perspective I had it, I saw, I mean, they were absolutely beating Trejon up. You know, they were hitting arm and scratching and stuff like that.
Well, that's it. You see in here at the start of the play,
Right there,
foul
yeah.
there, that first slap. There's a couple in
And
there,
then
and
here
then
when they
they're
called
holding
it,
the ball.
yeah.
So if you're not calling that first foul, you're either calling a jump ball. They then call that foul afterwards. I mean, I imagine that this would have been doing referee WhatsApp groups up and down the country in the UK, just sort of being like, what are your thoughts on this possession?
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's even... I think the steal by us probably was clean, but even if that was called as a foul, that would have turned out as a better scenario, because then they would have head down and had the 2 free throws, we would have got possession back straight away. Like all of the 3 things it could have been went against us, and then you obviously went for the little steal and came around the back, and it probably was. It was a foul on him as well, wasn't it? Like it just was. But
it's also a pretty gutsy play there, by the way, because obviously the shot clock was off, and they're up by 2. So normally in that situation you'd foul. It was that message coming from coach was not to foul in that situation and try and get a turnover.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, if you absolutely need to foul, if worse comes to worse, then foul. But I mean, we wanted to steal first and try and go the other way, because obviously we didn't want to burn too much time off the clock, and obviously how we play, we're all quick and we're all fast. So that was the first and main point that he wanted to say, and then if push comes to shove, then foul.
Yeah, well,
literally.
Well, yeah, that's it. Momentum was on our side at the time. I think we were hitting threes, and we were like, we were on a run at that point. So it makes sense that, you know, give it 2 or 3 seconds, let it bring him up over the half court. You're playing a bit of full court pressure. You might be able to get a trap in the corner or something like that. Yeah. And then if you have to, then foul. And it paid off. It was really good.
I'm watching it, and I'm like, these. You get the steal, and I'm like, this never happens. This would just usually be a foul. Like this never happens. We get the steal. I'm like, he's gonna go up. He's gonna. Brilliant.
Yeah.
It was such an anticlimax, wasn't it?
We felt the same way. We were just like, bro, how can you not call it? And from the ref that called the foul, I see his perspective, and he was behind it, so like he didn't really see all the hands in there slapping. Yeah. But yeah, like.
It's a tough one. I mean, Billy Ivy sort of took over the game for them in the end. He hit some clutch threes. Lucas led Flyers with 19 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. We've spoken about the controversial moment, and it does mean that Flyers dropped to 1-1 in the EMBL campaign. So still plenty of the season to go in EMBL, but that very promising performance at home is the first home European game. Just weren't able to make that history of that first home European win.
And obviously no KD on RGB, and who in the games before have been monumental, haven't they? Like RGB would have got some unreal offensive rebounds probably and whatever. So it's a shame.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really promising performance, and obviously it sets up a nice, tasty encounter against Start Lublin in a couple of weeks' time out in Poland. You excited for that one?
I am. Yeah. I hear everybody's going to that one too.
We going.
Well, I'm not going apparently, so I'm in Bristol, but all these guys are going. I think.
I'm buzzing. We're taking a few partners out. We've got some fans going, and it is going to be. It's just going to be epic, Joel.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to broadcast that game for those that aren't going out there on the Bristol Flyers YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll just be around the channel somewhere else, so you can go check that out. I'm going to be in the studio with former Flyers captain Gareth Till for that one, and I'm trying to source a special guest, but I don't know who yet, Sam, so watch this space.
Okay.
Right.
I thought you wanted an idea from me then. I was like, I don't know.
One thing I do want to cover, though, off the back of that Juventus game, Sam, is that was our Halloween celebration game, and we ran a bunch of Halloween themed events on the night. We had fans dressing up in fancy dress.
Did we?
Well, there was one person in particular that wore fancy dress. Get that up on screen, Dan. There it is. Sam the chicken. It was so actually Sam riding a chicken, and he had face paint as well.
I got a lot of questions about how the face paint links to the chicken, and it doesn't, Joel, okay?
Well, it's Halloween, isn't it?
It's just, do what you want, right? I saw that online, and I was like, I got to get it. So, yeah, went for it, mate.
I thought you were going to go as Team Wolf.
Do you know what? I was thinking about it, and I'm not going to lie to you. Were you in the office when I was looking? I was in the office the day before the game going, oh, Philip, I haven't sorted anything out. I'm on like Amazon Prime, like what can come tomorrow? I ordered it to SGS College. It tells me it's delivered. I turn up, and the lady in the door's like, no, you've got no packages. I'm like going all around SGS. I go back to the original lady, and she was like, oh, it's under Mike's name. Oh, I didn't realise it was under Mike's name.
And you got your chicken.
Got my chicken, didn't I?
Producer Dan, what did you think of Sam's costume?
It's a very impressive size. To be fair, isn't it? It's massive. So no, well done, Sam. Very well done.
Thank you.
I see what you did.
You like it? You like my suit?
I did. I saw it. I was like, oh yeah, he went all out. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Well, that's the thing, is in America, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in college, people will go out and dress up all the time, and then especially you got little kids trick or treating and stuff like that, going around out early.
Yeah, it's good. It was great. And obviously we had the fans dressed up in fancy dress. We had the face painters in the house. Who won the halftime fancy dress competition?
There was an adult and a child one, and the child, I think, was
it the dinosaur?
Yeah, I think it was the dinosaur. So similar to my outfit, but a dinosaur.
It was like a mini version of you, but instead of a chicken, it was a dinosaur. Amazing.
Yeah. And then the winner of the adult one was someone who came as a zombified version of me. She had really long hair and then dressed like a zombie. And I was like, fair enough, this guy can win.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, really good. We do, however, have to reveal the winner of another competition because we ran a Halloween design your own Halloween jersey competition for the kids at the game, and we had some great entries come in, but we have picked ourselves a winner, and that is from Flyers fan Nathaniel, age 13, who designed this amazing jersey.
Oh, that's nice.
Like that.
It's got the Spider-Man theme, TJ.
I like that.
Yeah, you're saying Spider-Man and winning about it. For the listener, it's black and red striped, pinstriped jersey. The red pinstripes sort of look like blood dripping down the jersey. Mm-hmm. And on the left-hand side, there is a spider just chilling out underneath the armpit.
Very nice.
It's amazing. So congratulations to you, Nathaniel. You've just won yourself a pair of tickets to the Lansted Hammers game at the SGS Wise campus on December 5th. Tuesday, December 5th. So congratulations. One of our support services team will reach out to you and your family to organise tickets. And I think it's a good job for Schnackman Matt.
Yeah, let's get Schnackman Matt on it, mate.
Should we do it? What do you think of that jersey, TJ?
I absolutely loved it. I mean, he Team Spider-Man, so he on the good side. We ain't with them other guys over there. But nah, it's a fire jersey. I wouldn't be mad at that concept at all.
Yeah, great stuff. We've got to talk about that was the first game, by the way, at the weekend. There's another 2 games on the weekend.
Let's get through this, shouldn't we?
We'll get through this one quickly. London Lions on
Friday.
Very quickly. For London Lions on Friday, 95-67. London pulled away with a big third quarter in the end. And TJ, this one, I mean, what were your thoughts on this game?
I mean, it's kind of just like we knew what we were up against. It's London. They always come ready to play. They're undefeated in the league, and we tried to execute our stuff, but again, it just didn't work out for us.
Yeah, it was a tough one on the night. Sam, did you watch that game?
Do you know what? I can't remember what I was doing now, but I didn't watch it. But I was watching the scores come through, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" But to be fair, you guys are knackered. You've had games coming out, and it was so tough. Like you've got a small rotation at the moment. Like I'm not surprised it was a tough battle. Callum got some good minutes in that though, didn't he? And Squally as well. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's good to see Callum getting those minutes as well, because that would be massive for his development as a player as well. Mm-hmm. We'll have to get Callum on the podcast at some point as well.
Yeah, 100%.
But Flyers, of course, they bounced back on Sunday. Big performance over the Caledonia Gladiators. 17-point win, thanks to some electric offense. And that guy over there knocking down some big threes.
I try to do what I can do when I do it,
Yeah,
it's just what it is. Here he is now. Is this so little
27 points for TJ, 7 for 11 from behind the 3-point line. A massive performance from him, earning himself a space in the British Basketball League Team of the Week as well for the first time.
Such a high arc. Look at that. Like there's the one I was on about. The steal. He runs up. He looks sideways. Who's there? Boop.
Lovely stuff.
In it goes.
Splash.
This one I loved.
Yeah, and obviously big performances all around the team. 5 players finished in double figures as well. The starting 5, in fact, all finished in double figures. You mentioned TJ's big performance there, but doubles for Raf Thomas-Edwards and Brad Green as well. And I guess when you've got guys that can just step up in the absence of other players, it just means that you get more minutes and it's just your time to shine. And everyone stepped up right when they needed to. It was just an all-round team performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously coming into the game, we had lost 2 in a row, and we were on that nice win streak, and we knew we had to bounce back. You know, we're at home. You always want to protect home court. And, you know, we have guys that can get it done in a bunch of different ways, you know, whether it's Brad on the glass, you know, going inside, feeding him in the post, or whether it's the guards hitting outside shots, or, you know, Tevo getting downhill. Whatever it is, we have multiple guys who can do multiple things, and that's what makes us so hard to guard.
Yeah, amazing stuff, isn't it?
I mean, you didn't look tired at all as a team. Like, you know, you've had all these run of games, and I was watching from the side, like, they're just going at them, and it made them, I mean, I know they've had a lot of games too, but you made them look like a very average team.
Well, there's a lot of talk about this, because I've listened to a lot of podcasts this week in the British Basketball League, and they've obviously hinted at the fact that, oh yeah, Caledonia, they've had 3 games in 6 days, they've been knackered, they went out to what did they play, Bilbao away in the FIBA Europe Cup. Then they went from Glasgow to Bilbao, and then they haven't gone home. They went straight from Bilbao to Plymouth, then Plymouth to Bristol. I think they're away for like 6 days in total. But you got to remember, like, this is Flyers' 3rd game in 6 days as well, and they're without 2 of their key players in the rotation, and they're still able to put together a really strong performance. So, like, I know it's an excuse to an extent, but you have to look at it on the other side of the coin as well. And I don't think a lot of those podcasts did that this week. So got to give Flyers their flowers there. And obviously I know I work for the club, but just spitting facts.
I wasn't. The thing is, I wasn't trying to take away from that. I think both teams supposedly should have been tired, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And you didn't look it. It was crazy. I think the fact that you guys were hitting everything, the energy was just like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there was a lot of talk about them coming, you know, into the league. They you know, were trying to go Champions League. Unfortunately, it didn't work for them, and now they're playing in what they're playing. It's just like, well, obviously, we're not on that stage, quote unquote, if you want to say that, but we're still playing European. So it's just like they don't give Flyers any credit. You know, again, we've had 2 good back-to-back years, and everybody's just like, oh well, you know, yeah, all right. So I think for us, it's just like we take that personally. You know, we don't get respect, and I think this go around with us doing what we're doing, we're going to get respect.
Prove the doubters wrong, I say. It's the narrative for the team over the last 2 years. So let's keep it going.
Well, it's got to get to that point where there's no more doubters. It's just like, oh yeah, that's the Flyers winning again. Brilliant.
Yeah. Speaking of proving the doubters wrong, big news around the league this past month is Coach Kapoulas was named the Molten Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month, following an unbeaten record in league play in November, in October even.
Say that quickly 3 times.
The Molten Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month.
Yeah, nice.
Molten Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month. Molten Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month. Molten Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month.
Do you know what? I was watching the polls come through, and he dominated in the voting, didn't he?
Well, I'll tell you how much he had. He had 51% of the votes in total.
Sheesh.
On my notes. So congratulations to Coach Kapoulas. Perfect 6-0 league record. The only defeat coming at the hands of Juventus on the last day of the month. So
annoying.
Absolutely flying. Flyers flying. And many congratulations. Very well-deserved award for Coach K. Other news, Trejon Jacob in that Player of the Month poll. You know, he was nominated for Player of the Month.
Yeah.
I have to say, as to Flyers fans, he lost out by 0.1 of the votes.
This really wound me up, by the way. Not they didn't get it. That's fine. Like, who was it? It was the London guy, wasn't it? Matt Morgan. Like, he was awesome. But what really annoyed me is the amount of comments that were like, look at the stats. Obviously, and I mean obviously, the stats are way better. But if you look at like what you got, the rebounds and the assists, they were way more than what Matt had. So his points were less. But so if you even out, it wasn't as far away as all the comments were making out. It was annoying, Joel.
Yeah, well, it just shows how important the votes are. So when you see the votes, on your on socials, we post it. Vote for Trejon. Everyone has to vote because it just shows how the smallest margins can be in these votes. So unfortunately, Trejon Lucas missed out on player of the month by 0.1% in the end. So that's crazy. Just the one game for Flyers this week as we take on Surrey Scorchers on Saturday. It'd be quite pleased just to have one game in a week after that busy week last week.
Well, I'm just thankful we're not playing them right now on New Year's Day, John.
Yeah, I know, right? They are very good at New Year's Day at their place. They have a very, very good record.
Do we know who's got them on New Year's Day, actually?
I don't think they're playing on New Year's Day this year, are they?
There you go.
I'm not sure.
Do you know that stat?
Yeah, actually, I think it was Corey that was talking about it last week or the other day. They were like, they always seem to win on New Year's Day, regardless of who they're playing.
Yeah.
Is it like 10 years in a row or something?
Something like that. I think they've got one loss or something like that. But yeah, they're always taking advantage of everyone's hangover.
What's a hangover, Joe?
No, I don't know. Trejon, how is preparations going for Surrey this week?
It's going good. You know, we had a few days to rest our body after the week we had last week, and now we're getting back into the flow of things, and we're getting ready. And, you know, of course, Surrey is a team that can play. You know, anybody can lose on any given night. So we got to face them just like we prepare for anybody else.
Yeah, great stuff. Of course, don't forget you can watch that game over on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. It's a 5 p.m. tip-off, the earlier time of 5 p.m. You can watch it for free. So don't forget it's an early tip-off on Saturday night. Right, a couple of bits got to do before we wrap up the news segment. Sam, I don't know if you can smell it, but it smells like some British basketball beef.
Oh, God.
Have you done the sound yet?
I'm not the happiest with it, but are you ready? Bear with me.
Yeah, go on. Play the sound.
It's time for British basketball beef.
Sponsored by Cow and Sow. Amazing.
What do you think of that, Dan?
I think that was class. That was. You took a lot of time into that. I can tell.
Okay, hasn't it?
Hours of making that.
Time.
So it's time for us to talk about some British basketball beef, and there was a lot of beef on Sunday night in the on the socials because there's the beef is basically around schedule and team schedules this season. Now, especially the teams that play in Europe, they have the busier schedule. They're a lot of times they're unable to field a full-strength squad in league play. A lot of times you see some teams, I don't think we really have, but a lot of teams might rest key players. And this obviously comes off the back of Plymouth becoming the first team to defeat London Lions in the British Basketball League on Sunday, 94-70. Now,
Which is mental, by the way.
it is, but let me read you the list. London were without Sam Decker, Luke Nelson, Jordan Taylor, Josh Sharma, Connor Morgan, or Tariq Phillip. So some were injured, obviously, which has been reported already, and some players were being rested. Now, the beef online here is, you know, if I'm a Surrey fan, for example, or if I'm a Manchester fan, or any of those teams that are fighting around the playoffs, and London have just decided to play like a weakened squad or resting key players, I can understand the frustration. However, on the other side of the coin, I can understand also, but being a team that's also playing in Europe, you have a busy schedule. You're like, for example, they're playing in Badalona in the Euro Cup this week. They got Leicester Riders on Friday. I can understand them wanting to rest players for bigger games. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Sam?
It's hard because we're not one of the teams that are battling at the bottom end of the table right now. So, you know, I can understand it. Like, in all honesty, London should be, for those teams, 4 wins and 0 losses. It should be, right? Let's just be honest. Like, they've got a much bigger budget. They've got a bigger squad. Like, that should what it be. So it must be frustrating for the other teams when actually Plymouth and Manchester and Surrey don't have that many wins, that they're winning one of the guaranteed, in inverted commas, losses, right? I can see that. At the same time, like, we also see we're feeling it a bit now. Players getting injured all the time. You can't have that as well. Like, it's not good for the league to have a lot of the best players injured the whole season as well, Joel. So I can see both sides. But I mean, what do you think, TJ?
I mean, it's kind of like this for me. On the other hand, I do see where they're coming from. You know, they're saying they're resting their key guys and they happen to pick up a win. But it's also like, as players, like we put a lot out into the game, and like our bodies go through a lot, and to keep going through that many games in a certain amount of days, it's going to take a toll on the back end of the season. So I think, like, for us, we had 3 games, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. So it was like that Sunday game, we're like mentally drained, physically drained. But for them, I'm just like, on any given night, you play guys that can win, and you know your guys can get the job done. So don't necessarily agree with that.
I'll give you my thoughts on this. I think
Joel's been waiting.
I think they built the team for that exact reason. So, like, the reason why they have, like, a roster of 15 players is for players further down the bench to be playing these games when they need to. So, this is the game that they should be delivering. Now, I think they put together a team that could compete in that game against Plymouth, and I think that's a good opportunity for the guys further down the bench to get more minutes. The young guys, Caboza had a big game in that game, for example. Yeah, they haven't had a chance to play as many games together with each other, so the chemistry may not be there as much as the first group, but this is literally why you build a team that's deep, because you want to rest players, because you'll have players playing, you'll prioritise players for European games or games against teams that are top of the table. Like most of those guys did play against us on Friday, for example, and then they rested them for Plymouth. So I can understand where that is. You know, we're second in the league, they're bottom of the league. For them, if they do drop a game to bottom of the league, they're not planning to do it, but they'll give the guys an opportunity. If they drop it, it's not the end of the world for them because they're still sitting top. You see what I mean?
Can I give some credit to Plymouth as well? Like, it was 24 points shouldn't really happen in the league. It just shouldn't. I know we got beat by London that many, but like it just shouldn't happen. That was an unbelievable display of really good basketball by their players. Like, they hit a lot of shots, they played well as a team, and that London team, whether they win or lose, shouldn't be losing by 24 as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, it's like I said, you put guys on the court that have to get a job done. And, shout out Plymouth, they got the job done. And shout out Coach for getting his 500th win. That was big time.
Yeah, that was big. I saw the celebrations after, by the way. There's water everywhere. That's great.
I think actually for him, it's nice that it was London as well. That's quite cool.
Absolutely,
isn't
it?
Yeah, it's like the icing on the cake, wasn't it? Yeah. So congratulations to Coach Paul James on your 500th league win in the British Basketball League. And that, Sam, was British Basketball Beef.
It's time for British Basketball Beef.
Sponsored by Cow and Sow.
It's so stupid.
I think it works all right, doesn't it?
There's guys in the room, by the way, who haven't got headphones on and hear it, so we just sit in silence for a bit or giggling to ourselves about the stupid stuff going on.
Stupid sound. Right, well, that was British Basketball Beef out of the way. I realise we're going over, but let's keep it running because we didn't do an episode last week. There's one other bit of news that's happening this week, and the British Basketball League has launched its Unbeatable Move campaign competition. We're asking fans to submit their unbeatable move on the court using hashtag unbeatable for a chance to win some cool British Basketball League prizes. Now, here's one we did with RGB, Royal Graham Bell. There he is on screen. It's doing his patented, well, I say patented. It's a Kobe patented turnaround fadeaway jumper from the baseline. And that is his unbeatable move. What do you think of that?
I mean, regardless of the thing they're doing on socials, that move is unbeatable. He is so good at it, isn't he?
He loves it.
It's a running joke on the team. We call him, shout out Les, we call him Darth Fader. That's his nickname, because every time he gets in that one spot, we already know what he's gonna do. So we just go in and go rebound, or the ones that's above the free throw line get back, and we know it's going up.
Amazing.
It's coming at least twice a game.
Darth Fader. I love it.
If he makes a shot like that in a game that I'm announcing, and I'm going to call him the Darth Vader just for you, Lara.
Absolutely. There's no better fitted name. Shout out Les for the name.
Amazing. Well, if you want to submit your unbeatable move, you can do so on socials. Use the hashtag unbeatable and you can win some great prizes. Last bit of news for me. If you want to get some Flyers fix this week on a Friday night, you can listen to myself and Raf Thomas Edwards commentating on Newcastle Eagles versus Manchester Giants.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I'm just going to put it out there. If you want to see Raf on commentary, he's joining me in comms, mate.
Yeah, I can't wait for
that.
that.
Up in London. So we're up there on Friday. You can watch that game on the British Basketball League YouTube channel on Friday night. And that, Sam, is all the news. We've wrapped it up, all the news.
Finally.
Let's play the sound, shall we?
This is the Bristol Flyers Podcast.
Right, TJ, time for us to wrap up this week's episode of the podcast with our mailbag segment. And as always, we ask fans to submit their questions to you via socials. And we've got some great questions. First one here is from Tash Puddy on Instagram. She says, name something that's better and something that's worse between both of your seasons in Bristol.
I'll start with the worst. In Finland, again, it was so cold over there, and it got so dark so early. So it would get dark, like pitch black dark at like 4 p.m. So it was something as adjustment to. And over here, the better thing I would say is just a style of basketball for me and the fans and the energy in the gym.
Great question. A great answer, even. It was a great question as well.
No love in here.
Thanks for that question.
We're going to miss some of these. There's loads on here, and we're running over a little bit.
Yeah,
So
go
do you
on.
mind? Okay, what about Wacko Menace on Instagram? Don't know if you know who that is. What shoes are you hooping in this year? And there's a second part to this question, but we'll start with that, okay?
Yeah, so right now I'm hooping in LeBron 20 All-Stars. And again, I'm kind of debating on if I'm going to get another pair of shoes. If you know me here the first year, I usually have one shoe that kind of pops, and I haven't decided on what that should be. So if y'all want to send me some suggestions, I'll gladly look at them.
Yeah, I was going to say, because your first spell with us, you wore the Kobe Grinches, which actually you gave away to a fan at the playoff game last season. There's a picture on the screen for you there. These are expensive shoes, by the way.
Are.
Short hair and all.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at that trim.
I know, it's short. It's TJ with the shaved head. But these are expensive shoes, and TJ's just giving them away to a fan. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, as far as shoes, it's just shoes. Like, I did what I did in them. There's no use for me. I'm not gonna wear them again. So if it makes somebody happy, it makes their day, makes their month, whatever it is, it's giving back to the community in some way, somehow.
Oh, I love that. Second part of that question is not from Instagram. It's actually from me. What are you rocking right this second? Because you got something on your feet which I don't think I'd ever wear, but I'm quite enjoying.
Well, I call them my old trusty lemon pepper steppers. You know what I'm saying? I had to get right.
The
Real comfy. Shout out Croc,
pepper
man.
steppers.
Lemon pepper steppers.
Do you ever put them in sport mode?
Oh yeah, I'll be zooming. If you ever catch me around the city, most likely having these on.
Well, if you do get a chance to see Trejon Jacob and his lemon pepper steppers, do send us a tweet at Bristol Flyers and tag your photos.
What happens if Coach Kapoulis was wearing the lemon pepper steppers while he won the Coach of the Month of the whatever? I can't remember what it's called now.
The Molten British Basketball League Kevin Cadle Coach of the Month.
In his lemon pepper steppers. Too many.
Start going rapid, isn't it? Yeah. Next question. Chloe Winter on Instagram. What animal would you compare yourself to? And can you show us your chicken run?
I know exactly where this came from. It's like crazy.
What is the chicken run?
I mean, it's a running joke I had with them after the game. But my favorite animal, or what would I compare myself to? I would say a cheetah.
A cheetah?
Just because in transition, I get out in transition, and cheetahs can jump. But also like a kangaroo. I got
springy.
bounce.
Springy.
And shout out Vicky. She called me Tigger from
Nice.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, nice.
Winnie the Pooh, so
But you're not showing us your chicken run.
no.
Well, we're not see the chicken run. What we've got to do is see the chicken run.
We ain't doing chicken run in here, man.
We bought you fish and chips.
Should have brought him chicken.
Chicken as well.
I'm gonna leave the chicken run to Sam.
I don't even know what it is, but I will do it.
What is the chicken
You show
run?
me after, yeah?
I don't even know what chicken run is. I don't even know.
Schnackman Matt has been in touch, of course, with a question, and he says, "What is your favorite American snack?"
Favorite American snack? We talking candy or talking chips?
Candy.
And by chips, do you mean chips or crisps?
Crisps.
Crisp. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Crisps.
But as far as American candy, I would probably say tropical Skittles. Tropical Skittles go crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while.
I don't think I've seen them in the UK.
We'll have to go to an American shop here and find you some, okay?
But as far as crisps, as y'all call them, it's a country thing. We call them pork skins.
Oh yeah,
And
we know pork skins very well.
Yeah, so I usually get those. I might get hot Cheetos or hot fries.
Yeah.
nice.
You ever crushed up hot Cheetos and put them? You can fry chicken in hot Cheetos.
Have you actually tried pork scratchings over here in the UK?
I haven't. I was trying to find them. I couldn't find them.
Because Trejon Lucas was like, these are like pork skins, basically.
Yeah.
So,
I need to get a hold of them. Tej, if you see this, plug me in, bro.
you can find you some Mr. Porkies here somewhere.
Yeah.
Final question, producer Dan. Do you have a question for TJ?
I do, Joel. In the end, I do have a question. Yes, obviously we've sampled fish and chips today, but we talked about Raleigh and Houston. If we were to go to Raleigh or Houston, what is some local cuisine that you would be able to show us?
Well, I'm gonna say Houston food over Raleigh. I'm taking the deep south.
Okay,
as
here we go.
as we call it. But I mean, it depends. If you like seafood, you know, I have my mom cook up a dish and we'll get you right. Let's just put it like that. But I mean, again, Texas is known for the barbecue, so that's what I say. We got all kind of stuff over there. So
Great stuff. I love Texas barbecue. You guys went to Spitfire last week, right?
Spitfire.
And you get the ribs.
We had a bunch of stuff. We had the wings, the ribs, mac and cheese, the fries.
Was that your first time there as well?
It was, yeah. I didn't even know it even existed. They were like, "Oh, you gotta try Spitfire. I gotta try Spitfire," and I'm like, "I'll get to it eventually." But then Tev was like, "Nah, like we gotta go." So we actually had a little double or nothing bet going on.
I heard about this.
As far as the players, we won the bet with Coach, so he took us to Spitfire.
So essentially, it was, you know, if you win the game, you go to like Nando's.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you win the next game, you can like go double or nothing, and he upgrades the Nando's to a Spitfire.
Yeah, so we like to be betting man in the locker room. So we put our money where our mouth is.
That's it. Back yourself. I love it. Great to see it. And you were rewarded with a lovely Spitfire.
Absolutely.
TJ, thank you so much for spending time out your busy schedule to join us here on the Bristol Flyers podcast. It's a great episode. How'd you find it?
I loved it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. Appreciate being in the studio with you guys, man, making some fire content. Shout out people behind the scenes. Y'all don't get much love.
Ash for the fish and chips.
These guys don't really do their job. I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna give you your flowers. Shout out y'all in the back, man.
Amazing stuff. Your fish and chips are probably gone a bit cold now, by the way.
I'm gonna eat it.
But he's still gonna find a way to eat it. Is there any left, just Dan?
There's some left. Yeah,
there's some left.
Yeah,
So,
right.
there we go. Unless they all had it all back there. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Bristol Flyers podcast. TJ, best of luck with your game this weekend against the Surrey Scorchers. And Sam, that's it for the episode. What an episode. We went for a bit longer this week because obviously we didn't do one last week, so we're sort of making up a little bit to the fans. But yeah, great episode of the bank, Sam.
What a legend.
Anything else to add before you wrap up this
Absolutely not, Joe.
Nothing else to add?
No, nothing to add.
Huge thank you to our partners at WebGains for sponsoring the Bristol Flyers podcast. But until then, we'll see you same time next week right here on the Bristol Flyers podcast, sponsored by WebGains.